What's going on all you gamers, here we are in Destiny 2 Beyond Light, and today I'm going to be bringing you out a little guide to kind of help a few titans out in PvP. Now this is set at kind of not quite beginners, as you will need some exotics as such, but it's set for players that may not be the best at run and gunning but do still enjoy PvP. So if that sounds like something that interests you, then stay tuned, that's coming up next. Welcome back all you guys and girls, as always for all things Xbox and all things gaming. If you like this and you find it helped you, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for now, you're here to see what kind of a build we're going to jump into today. Now this build is pretty much called the stay and shoot build, and that's because what you will mainly need will be this thing just over here on the right hand side, and that is the Citan's Ramparts. Now this build is kind of designed for obviously not completely new players, as you do need some exotics, but it's designed for players who kind of like to hold points. So I'm not going to use the word camping because nobody likes that word. It's for players that don't run and gun as much as some other players. They kind of like to be less mobile and get some kills from a static point of view. So what you're going to be doing, if you can put it on and you have this, sweet business. Chuck that into your primary slot. If you haven't got it, stick whatever you're best with getting kills really fast with a time to kill. So basically whatever you think's your best weapon for killing people in quite a fast fashion. For your secondary, I would say try to find whatever your best fusion rifle is, as these will be really good for getting those one hit kills, or two if you miss a little bit. Thirdly, and this is for your power slot, and you will want a rocket launcher. Put on whatever your biggest rocket launcher is, and if it's got some splash damage or some cluster grenades or something along those lines, chuck that on, all the better. Now over here, and I'm going to leave the armour up to yourselves. I'm not even going into the actual mod armour today. Basically style it to your playstyle, how you think it helps you, chuck them on. One of the reasons for that is because I think it just makes it a little bit better for yourself, because everyone is slightly different. The second one is because I haven't actually got the greatest mods at the moment, so I'm not going to tell you what to put on because I haven't got them to try out myself. The one thing you will want to do, if you have a little look, if you can get it, basically when I put on my proper armour set, just up here I have got that to 90. Try to make your resilience as high as possible, and the reason you'll want to do that, so if I change into my other gear as such, right, so now I've got on a better setup. It's not perfect, but if you have a little look just over here, our resilience, which is a really good thing to have on a Titan, has gone up to level 8. When I've got mine perfected, it's usually at 9 and I'm trying to get it to 10. Now the reason for that is because this puts your class ability cooldown as you go up. Now I can't remember exactly what mine was at, I think I could get it to 14 at one point. So you think that basically means you'll be able to do your shield wall, or your shield barrier, whatever you call it, pretty much almost constantly. You're waiting a few seconds in between, but then you'll have it again. What that means is that you'll be able to sit behind that, but because you've got the Citan's Ramparts, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly, but because you have that, you will be able to stand behind that, rev this up beforehand, especially if you think someone's coming around the corner, or if you know someone's going to be popping their head out, rev this up, and then you will absolutely smash them really fast. It is ridiculously fun. Another thing, if they're charging you with a shotty or something such as that, switch to this and shoot them first. If you're better with shotguns, maybe try that. And finally, obviously, the rocket launcher speaks for itself. Just shoot it straight through the shield, or if you want to jump above the shield and shoot it and then land behind it for a bit more cover, you can do that as well. But this build works really well, and it's really fun, especially for things such as control. If you're more of a player that likes to hold the control points and not run and gun as much, then this will be a really fun build for you. And finally, what I found best, and not a lot of people tend to use this, perfectly honest, but just up here for the Titan subclass, Sunbreaker. And if I go into that, I'll explain why. Now obviously the main thing you have to have is Towering Barricade. If you haven't got this on, then it will not work, you won't shoot through anything, it won't work in this build, basically. The jump, do whatever floats your boat, whatever you're content with. I always do high lift, but it's up to you. Just over here, I find that fusion grenades are always the best on this, but again, if you want to swap it out, if you like one of the others, go for it. Finally, the one you probably will need more than any will be just up here, and that's because once you have your super, what you're going to be doing is pretty much chucking flaming hammers through that wall, which they won't expect, and hitting them in the face for a really nice easy kill. So as you can see here, explosive pyre, code of the Fireforged, enemies killed by a hammer of soul explode. Hammers shatter into explosive molten embers on impact. Solar ability kills grant you and your nearby allies bonus movement and reload speed. So if you've got a team with you, you'll be helping them with this one as well. And finally, just down here, that's pretty much just your big hammer melee hit. But yeah, this is a really nice build, it's a really fun build, and it's a build that not really many people tend to do, but I would say especially if you're not the best at PvP, but you have been playing for a while and you have managed to get yourself some really nice gear to get these kind of stats, and obviously you will need the Citan's ramparts more than anything else, then definitely give this build a try, as it's really fun, kind of a different gameplay style than most of you are probably used to. But yeah, I would say this is quite a fun build, it is definitely good for holding control points, and like I said, even if you haven't got sweet business, put on whatever gun you find really good at taking quick kills or headshots or whatever you like to do, and still try this build. The only thing you need 100% is that part just there, the Citan's ramparts. I'm going to chuck on some gameplay to show you what it's like, and hopefully you enjoy.